This is the Lekker Rugby Pod, only on Megafoon Rugby.
Hallelujah, welcome back to Lekker Rugby Pod. Harry, the people have been asking, has Harry deserted the ship? Has Harry left the station? Is Harry still around? Has Harry deserted? Has he gone AWOL? So where have you been? And hallelujah, you're back, man. Thank you.
Hallelujah too. It's nice to be back. We're on a beach, and we're doing things that you do on a beach. We're just kind of gallivanting, watching the waves. The drama every night is just how good the sunset will be and what particular sunset it will be. We're giving names and categories to them. But no, I haven't lost touch with the world of rugby and what's going on. Breathlessly awaiting the World Cup draw, watching what's happening to Eben in the World Council, these shadowy star chambers that they convene and end up having no kind of consistency or logic.
What's going on with the smoke there by you?
And then
are you on fire or something?
I'm having a cup of tea. It seems to be incredibly hot. We'll put it
clearly.
aside.
I thought you were combusting spontaneously or something.
Thank you. My makeup artist just gave me a hot tea. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about whatever of those topics that appeals to you, MBA. So
all right, I'm actually going to do something that we decided against, but I'm going to do it anyway because this video comes in a bit later. But we've had a couple of birdies flown into our office here and whispered in our ear, and canaries in the gold mine, whatever you're going to call it, about the Eben thing. So tell us what you thought.
Yeah, looks like it's not going to be quite as dire for the Etzebeth family as it's been portrayed, nor is it going to be a complete walk away like some people foolishly have hoped for. I always thought that it deserves something. It deserves something pretty big. You don't want to have anyone do tripping, gouging, punching, testicle pulling. These are things that are outside, rugby and have no place in it. On the other hand, if you thought about if your son got charged in a barroom brawl, and in that brawl, as he was just fighting what he thought was for his life, he did something really crazy, like stuck his fingers up some nostrils and pulled them out, or tried to pull an ear off. And if in the telling of that story, your son told you and the defense lawyer you hired for him, oh, by the way, the reason why I went so apeshit was that he tried to pull my ear off or he grabbed me in the balls, it would be relevant. It doesn't mean that the thing that's on camera and the closed circuit CCTV in the bar that shows your son actually doing the terrible thing, it didn't happen. Of course it happened. But if there's 40% of people on mostly from Northern Hemisphere just trying to tweak us, keep saying, well, you must not talk about what the Welshman did because that's not part of it. You have to just focus on what Eban did. That's insane. Like you wouldn't do that in your own life. You would say, well, that's a strangely out of character thing for my son to have done. I wonder what precipitated it. And you would do it. And if your lawyer wouldn't do it, you'd say, I'm firing you as a lawyer because you're ridiculous. I will get a lawyer who'll do it. So everyone who's saying that argument, shut the fuck up. Okay? You wouldn't do that in your own life. Now, let's go back to Eban. He lost his head. It was 73-0. The guy did something to you. Just tell the ref calmly. Wait for that video evidence to come in. Report what happened to him, and then on the next ruck line up, tell someone to grab him and hold him up, and then you ram your Eben Etzebeth shoulders as hard as you can into his ribs and try to separate them. That's legal, and it hurts. But don't do the thing, right? So I got no problem with a long ban. Looks like it's going to be 9 weeks. So a little birdie told me, little birdie told you, maybe it just told me, maybe it just told you. Someone told someone something. 9 weeks is what it looks like. And if you're wondering how you get there, it's like beware how the sausage is made. Don't go to the sausage factory and see how it's made. But just like in a jury, you make deals, you make compromises. And what if someone was really coming in at 20 and another guy was coming in at 6 and someone else was like somewhere at 12? You're going to do some wheeling dealing, and it takes a long time, and you have to go back to the hotel, come back the next morning and do it some more. And there's plenty there. So if someone truly did believe that someone gouged Eban's eye and that Eben thought that, and there's plenty of evidence of that, then he might look at the provocation as being so extreme that it makes you want to go another 6, 7, 8 weeks. If someone says, I don't really think that's true, or I don't really think there's enough evidence to it, I'm not of the school of the Jan Hendrik Wessels type prosecution. I like to see things, so I don't see enough on the gouge of Eben. Then they would say, I'm discounting all that. I'm just going with what Eben did. Then you can see 6 months. I mean, you can see anything. It's a terrible thing, right? It's still terrible, but it's a lot less terrible if someone thought someone attacked them and then they attacked them back. On the street, out there in the world, you would say that's true. You would say there is some reason why someone went that way. If it was completely unprovoked and Eben Etzebeth literally just decided, we're having handbags and I want to take it to a next level and there's nothing else that ever happened before, then sure, I get it. That's the actions of a madman and someone who's acting like a thug. So Eben obviously would be the most disappointed. I do think 9 weeks makes some sense. I can see 12. I can see 9. I can see 10. I don't see 6 months, 1 year, never play again. I don't understand that. I think that's people who already had something in it for him, or they didn't like him, or they didn't like Buck Rugby, and they wanted to put the boot in. That's my opinion.
All right, so Harry, thanks for that one. It's quite interesting. We had a bit of an event, while you and I were talking. I suddenly left the building, as you saw. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm actually quite looking forward to see what happens here. And I'm going to let you go. By the way, people, we're going to have a nice, proper, fully fledged Lekker Rugby Pod on Sunday. And Harry's going to be a bit controversial there with what he's going to say. So watch out for that one. Thanks, Harry. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Cheers.
This is the Lekker Rugby Pod, only on Megafoon Rugby.